This is okay. This is sort of what I was fearing because this doesn't really make me any more excited at all. I know there is a lot in this game, like dungeons, and there is also progression. We know that because there's no way there's not going to be that. But the fact that they're just showing sandboxy shit and more land doesn't really make me any more excited for the game, because like that's the whole thing. Bigger world doesn't mean better game, and I keep saying that. It is so true. Like, bigger world does not equal better game. You need to have shit in the game. I feel like this is just gonna be Breath of the Wild all over again with the exact same reward structure, but it's gonna be way more sandboxy. But for me, the sandbox shit doesn't do anything, because like it's cool and it's really cool to mess around with it for a little bit, but you need stuff in the world that incentivizes you to use them, right? And that's I think they're missing the point. Just having fun shit around doesn't incentivize you to play the game, right? People are gonna tire of that super quickly, right? It's gonna be fun. Oh, you can put this together and this together. Oh, look what I created, a fucking weird ass structure. I'm gonna put some wheels on it and a fan. Oh, it floats. Oh shit, blah blah blah. This is so weird how the biggest selling point, the only selling point of this game, like, I'm not buying this game for $70 to play Breath of the Wild. I want to be excited to play the sequel. I was excited to pay $60 for Breath of the Wild because we knew there were going to be 120 mini shrines. We knew there were going to be a lot of. They showed so much. They showed so many progression paths and bosses and Ganon, and they told us about Ganon, how you can go straight to Ganon and kill him, or you can go to do the dungeons. There was so much to be excited about, and what you would be doing progression wise in the game. What would incentivize you to climb that mountain? What would incentivize you to go to the other side of the world? You know, all of these things, and all the sandbox elements that they showed you about as well. All of that was justified by having the carrot on the stick. In this game, you just have you don't have that. You don't have the carrot on the stick. You just have a lot of sandboxy elements, and that's gonna be fun for a little bit. But if you're like, for example, we saw right here,
You'll notice
right there.
some land.
You see that? See that thing? So the rock comes from here and lands somewhere. This is not the elevator. This is something else. And you know what I'm thinking, right? You know what I'm thinking. And it could be something, and it might not be a shrine. But how the fuck are we supposed to know that? We don't know. We don't know what we're going to be doing in this game. Gotta keep some stuff secret. Yeah, but everything is secret, right? That's what I'm saying, right? Breath of the Wild, we knew about 120 shrines. We knew that there were going to be Ritos, Soras, Gorons, that the Gorons were in Death Mountain. And we knew about the Ritos in Sora's Domain. We knew about the Ritos in Rito Village. We knew about that you could go straight to Ganon without getting heart containers and stamina. We knew about spirit orbs at all of the 120 shrines. We knew about the horse system and catching horses. We knew about side quests. We knew about villages. In this game, we know absolutely nothing outside of sandboxy elements. And that is not making, like, imagine for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is about to come out, and the only thing you know about the game is that it's a big world, and you can use magnesis, and you can use stasis. That doesn't make me excited for the game. What made me excited for the game is that there's 120 shrines, that you can go and defeat Ganondorf right off the bat, that there's, side quests, that there's progression, that there's, all of this stuff. In this game, there's nothing, right? Shows all the hidden things. Yeah, but that's the thing, though. There are stuff here, but we don't know what any of it is. This could be a shrine, right? This right here could be a shrine, because we saw the rock falling down here. And then you do the rewind thing on it, right? And you go back up. This is a stationary thing, and it looks like a shrine sort of thing. It might not be, but it could also be that, right? And if that's a shrine, and it's going to be like 100 of those. I mean, to be fair, the shrines, if they have designed shrine type mini dungeons again, they could be cool, because you could have a lot of cool puzzles with the rewind mechanics and stuff like that. But again, right, you do 20 of the shrines and you have more or less seen them all, right? And that didn't stop me from doing every single one of them and have like a decent amount of fun with them. But you do 20 of them and you've seen it all, right? And this isn't like, again, for all the people saying like, no, I don't want to see anything more, stuff like that. No, don't spoil us. This is not about spoilers, because you cannot sit here and say that Breath of the Wild was spoilery. We knew so little of that game, but we knew 50 million times more than we know about this game. Because again, if you're going to compare Breath of the Wild to this game in terms of marketing and in terms of what we know and what made us excited for buying and playing the game, it was not Magnesis and Stasis. It was not climbing the mountain. It was what potentially was on top of that mountain. It was all the visiting all of these places with the civilizations and the towns and what would be the reward and how cool it would be to go straight again with 3 heart pieces, and you could do that. You can do that from the get-go. That was what made us excited about Breath of the Wild, right? And the cool things with Magnesis and Stasis is going to be the carrot on the stick to keep you going and keep things interesting and fresh with how the world is so interactive. And the world here is extremely interactive, way more than Breath of the Wild ever was. And that's really cool, but what's the point? What's the purpose? You know, you need that carrot on the stick, right? It's an adventure game, action adventure game, and it's a bigger world. Again, bigger world doesn't mean better game. So like, there's a lot, like, this is cool. There's a lot of cool things, and I like a lot of these things. These are really cool things. But again, like I don't play games to play. I don't play an open world game. I've played so many open world games, and I do not play open world games to just run around and do sandboxy things with no purpose. I don't play them just to run around with no objective. Open world games are there to incentivize you to explore it. Having sandboxy things that doesn't do anything for progression but just makes it easier to traverse the world doesn't make anything more exciting. It's really odd, but I get it. This is, yeah, I don't know. These enemies are cool though, because they can pick up like weapons and they can also do the makeshift thing. There's not a whole lot to say about any of this, honestly. There isn't. It was all pretty self-explanatory. I'll see if I can see something that looks like something that could be... There was one thing I noticed. But all of this is like super self-explanatory. There's not a lot you can really say about this. And again, here, like, this is like this here, right? There's probably going to be a ton of different types of materials. Like you have these like wind propeller thingies, right? There's probably going to be a ton of different things. And so much development time has probably been used on creating this system, right? Just like in Breath of the Wild, where I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 6 or 7 years Breath of the Wild was in development. And 3 or 4 of those years, like half of the development time was just to create the physics engine and making the grass, you know, look good and also make the game function in, you know, in 30 FPS and not crash the game, right? That so much time was made to optimize the grass and just make the physics again. And this is probably one of those systems that they have spent so much time developing. And then you realize that if there's still going to be like an ice mechanic, you're just going to do that instead. Like this, like if you look at this, right, this is cool and all, and they're just obviously showing it up. So for all we know, there might be a big fucking ocean place, right? Or there might be underwater kind of traverse. I heavily doubt it. Why would you ever use 5 minutes to create a raft? It's probably not going to take 5. Why would you take 30 seconds to create a raft when you can reach the other side of that in 10 seconds without doing that? You know, stuff like that. Why would you ever do that? You know? Now, it becomes a different thing when you take into consideration that the thing can fly, right? Because I'm guessing, like you saw the rocks fall down, right? And then you can rewind. But I'm also guessing that some of these sky islands doesn't have rocks that fall down. So you need to actually find a creative way to get up there. And then this becomes cool, right? Then this becomes actually incentivized to use it. But is it gonna make you actually do it? That depends on what's on top of that island. That depends on what reward they're gonna give you on top of that. Is this going to be a Korok Seed? Is it going to be a Spirit Orb? Then I'm not going to feel very incentivized to spend 2 minutes to create that raft and actually fly to the top of it. It's cool, you know, but, you know, there's a lot of things here that, I don't know. Like, again, we have seen cool things. We've seen that big 3-headed dragon. Probably like a random boss fight. We've seen new enemies. We've seen the Redeads, you know? They're not showing that here. So we know there's way much more to be excited about. But it's just very worrying how they're constantly just focusing on the sandboxy stuff. Like, give us the carrot on the stick. Do not give us, you know, just the sandboxy stuff that doesn't really mean much. This is not, there are so many open world games out there, and you don't play open world games to just run around with no objective. You don't do that. You don't play The Witcher 3 just to run around and ride on Roach and use Igni on bushes and watch them burn. You don't do that. You play The Witcher 3 for the loot, for the story, for, you know, you don't play Skyrim to run around and fight, you know, just to run around, right? You don't do that. And use the shouts for no reason. You play Skyrim to get the loot, to build your character. Again, that's an RPG, so it's different, right? But you don't play open world games to just run around and do nothing. You have objectives and you have the carrot on the stick that incentivizes you to actually explore the world. And this up here could be it. At the top of it, that could be it. Could be. It's the thing where like I'm sure the stuff that I'm talking about is in the game. But if you're gonna put the sequel to one of the most popular Zelda games ever created and put a price tag of $70 on it and not justify why it's $70 and not like tell me why I should be excited to play this game, because they are so confused about what make open world games actually exciting to play. They nailed it in Breath of the Wild, but here they have completely reverted to to the whole, you know, reasoning behind what makes an open world exciting in the first place. And the game of the year goes to Resident Evil 4. Well, we'll see. Like, again, I am sure that this game is going to be great. But compare Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom again, right? With all the things we knew. And it's night and day, because here in this game, I don't know why am I playing this game? I want to be excited, but there's nothing to be excited about, because again, these things are cool on their own, but they are not the reasoning why you're playing an open world game. Man, they just completely, they've made some really cool systems here. But this is not the way you fucking market an open world game. And Breath of the Wild's world is huge. This is even bigger. And we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do in it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Cooking pot, so it's gonna be cooking. It's gonna be cooking. You're not throwing that away. Shrine sensor. There's heat and cold, night cycle. You know, it's the same UI. That is really... Yeah, I mean, like, again, I am sure we have seen some things, right? We have seen, you know, that dragon and shit. And it's like, I think this game is going to be really good. But I'm speaking just from the marketing alone, right? Because again, like, this is my main point, and I've already said it, right? But I'm going to repeat it because I'm making a YouTube video. And that is, like, compare, to repeat myself again, compare what we knew going into Breath of the Wild. What made that game exciting for everyone? That it was not that you could use magnesis. It was not that you could use stasis. It was not that you could ride a horse. What made that game exciting was the progression. You knew there were 120 shrines. You knew that they were going to have rewards. You knew about the Korok seeds. Not that they're really that exciting, but you knew about it. You knew about the Rita village, the Goron in the Death Mountain. You knew about the big divine beast, the salamander crawling around Death Mountain. You knew about Sora's domain and the Soras. You knew about that you could go straight to Ganondorf and kill him and defeat him, and it was going to be really hard. And you knew about mini bosses. You knew about the Talus. You knew about, Stone Talus. You knew about the Hinox. You knew about so many things. In this game, you know absolutely fucking nothing. And if you compare those two, the Rewind mechanic and the Makeshift mechanic and all of this, it is basically the equivalent of marketing Breath of the Wild and just showing horse riding, climbing, gliding, magnesis, and stasis. Imagine if that's all we knew. Imagine. Breath of the Wild is and became as popular as it was. Obviously, first of all, because it's a good fucking game, okay? But the hype they created around that game with the story trailer and with the marketing and with all the things they said, like the excitement people were fucking, you know, when we learned that we can go straight to Ganon and do everything in any order, and it was going to be, you know, so many things to do. That was cool. That's the reason we were excited. And again, where is that here? Why am I spending $70 on this game? Again, I think it's going to be great. I'm obviously going to get this game because it's probably going to be fucking amazing. And there's going to be so many things that they're not showing. But showing it, I'm not asking for spoilers. I'm not asking for that. But I'm asking them to justify the $70 price tag on this game. Why are we buying it? Why is this why is it a huge ass fucking world, and why is there only sandboxy traversal mechanics and nothing rewarding or reward structure, or, you know, why haven't we not seen any villages? What happened to Hateno and, you know, all these villages? What happened to all of that? And a lot of the shit I'm saying we don't even need to know about, right? But just a few things. Are there going to be shrines? Is it going to be something equivalent of that? We knew about that in Breath of the Wild. I didn't consider that a spoiler. That was just cool information to have and made me excited to play the game. We knew there were going to be 4 Divine Beasts. That didn't spoil the game for me because I didn't know what the fuck it was going to be about. It just made me more excited to play the game. We knew that we could go straight to Ganondorf, or we can do all the other shit first and then go and be as equipped as you wanted to be. That didn't make me that didn't spoil me. That just made me more excited to play the game. You know, we knew all of this shit, and it just made me more excited to play the game. And it still surprised the fuck out of me. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say.